Let me speak to the part of you that has been waiting. Not the polished version of you that shows up for the world. Not the version that smiles through exhaustion and nods through doubt. I am speaking to the deeper one, the one beneath the performance. The one who lies awake at 3 in the morning and feels, with a quiet and persistent aching, that something magnificent is supposed to happen in your life. That there is a version of you, a grander, fuller, more radiant version, who is living in a way that the present you can barely dare to imagine. The one who has whispered to herself in the dark, not yet, but one day, I will show up fully. One day I will stop hiding behind my circumstances and my history and my carefully rehearsed reasons for why now is not the right time. One day I will step into the life that I feel in my bones was made for me. I am speaking to that part, and I need you to hear me, not with your ears, but with the marrow of your bones. You have been living under a spell. I do not say that poetically. I say it as precisely and as seriously as a surgeon names a diagnosis, because what has been happening in your inner world is not laziness. It is not lack of ambition. It is not fate. It is not your family's fault, not entirely. And it is not the economy, not entirely. And it is not the timing, not entirely. What has been happening is that you have been operating under a set of invisible instructions that were handed to you before you were old enough to question them. And those instructions told you one devastating lie that has quietly shaped every decision, every hesitation, every self-betrayal you have ever committed. The lie was this: you are not enough, and there is not enough for you. That is the spell, that is the hex, that is the curse that was spoken over your life not by one voice but by 1,000, by classrooms and living rooms and Sunday sermons that confused holiness with poverty, by parents who taught you to be grateful for scraps because they themselves had only ever known scraps, by a culture that celebrates suffering and calls it virtue, by every movie and every song and every whispered social message that told you wealth is for the other kind of people, not your kind, not you specifically, not this body, not this background, not this name. And you believed it. Of course you believed it. You were a child. Children are not given the luxury of discernment. Children absorb. Children become what they are told they are. And what you were told, in 1,000 different languages, was small. Stay small, think small, dream carefully. Do not reach too far, because the fall will be hard and embarrassing, and people will say they told you so. But I am here today, and I am standing in front of the deepest chamber of your heart, and I am telling you with every ounce of conviction I possess that the lie ends now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve, not when someone finally gives you permission. Now, in this breath, in this moment, the lie ends because you have become conscious of it, and a spell that is seen cannot hold. You were born rich, not in the way the world defines riches, not with a trust fund already prepared, not with a last name that opened doors, not with a head start that made the race feel easy. I mean, you were born with something infinitely more powerful than all of that. You were born with the image of the divine embedded in the very substance of your being. You were born as a creative consciousness in a universe made entirely of creative consciousness. You were born with an imagination that can conceive of realities that do not yet exist, and a will that can command those realities into being. You were born with access to the same invisible supply that has always provided, always expanded, always found a way. That is what rich means. That is what you are. That is what you have always been. And every single time you looked at a price tag and whispered, "That's not for me," every single time you called yourself realistic when what you meant was afraid, every single time you talked yourself out of the desire, before you even allowed yourself to fully feel it, you were not being humble. You were not being responsible. You were being obedient to the lie. You were feeding the spell with your own voice, your own energy, your own magnificent creative power, and you were feeding it the wrong instruction. You are taking the most powerful creative instrument in the known universe, your own consciousness, and using it as a weapon against yourself. Day after day, thought after thought, word after word, building the walls of your own limitation with the same hands that were given to you to build a palace. Because here is what the law of consciousness does not care about. It does not care whether you are right or wrong about your limitations. It does not check to see if your doubt is justified. It does not ask whether the evidence supports your pessimism. The law simply responds. It is impersonal. It is immovable. It is the most reliable force in existence, and it takes whatever instruction you give it, whether that instruction is wrapped in prayer or wrapped in complaint, and it says yes, always yes. This is both the terror and the glory of the truth. The terror is that you have been saying yes to smallness for years without knowing it. The glory is that the exact same mechanism that built the ceiling is the mechanism that will now build the door. You are not fighting against a law. You are learning to use one. And once you understand that the law was always on your side, once you realize that the universe never once judged you, never once withheld from you, out of spite or punishment or indifference, it was simply responding to the frequency you were broadcasting. Something in you will shift that cannot be shifted back. You cannot unknow the truth once you know it. You cannot return to darkness once you have seen the light. So let us begin. Let us begin with your words, because your words are not decorations. They are not casual sounds that float into the air and dissolve into nothing. Your words are commands. They are literal instructions delivered to the most powerful computer in existence, which is not a machine in Silicon Valley, but the subconscious mind within you. And that mind is connected directly, immediately, without any delay or middleman, to the infinite creative intelligence that runs this entire universe. Every word you speak in earnest is a seed dropped into the soil of creation, and that soil does not discriminate. It grows what you plant. It grows what you plant. So what have you been planting? Listen, really listen. Not to what you say in public, not to what you post, not to what you tell people when they ask how you are doing. Listen to the inner monologue. Listen to the running commentary that never stops. The voice beneath the voice, the one that is always narrating your life and deciding what it means and assigning you a role in it. What does that voice say when you see someone living in extraordinary abundance? Does it say, that is mine, that is available, that is the kind of life that was made for me too? Or does it say, must be nice? Things like that don't happen for people like me. I wonder what they did to deserve it. I wonder what corners they cut. What does that voice say when an opportunity appears at the edge of your life and asks you to step forward? Does it say, yes, I was made for this, I am ready, let us go? Or does it say, who do you think you are? You are not qualified, you will fail, you will look foolish, you will regret this? What does that voice say in the morning before you have fully woken, in that liminal space between sleep and consciousness where the guard is down and the truth comes through? Does it say, today is full of possibility, today is the day something beautiful finds me? Or does it say, here we go again, another day, same struggle, same walls, same ceiling? That voice, that specific voice, that is the voice that has been casting your spell. Not your enemies, not the economy, not your past, that voice. And now we must change it. Not suppress it, not shame it, not punish yourself for the years it has been running. That voice was trying to protect you. It learned its lesson in childhood when disappointment was real and the pain of hoping too much was real, and the safer strategy genuinely was to expect less so you would hurt less. That voice was loyal. It was obedient. It did exactly what it was designed to do, but it was given the wrong design. And today we are giving it new instructions. Say this. Say it aloud. Because sound is vibration, and vibration is creation. And the cells of your body listen to what your voice declares. Say this now with your full chest and your whole conviction.
and
Divine riches
prosperity,
flow through me
with
because I
joy
know who I
and
am.
open heart.
Say it again,
I am
slower this
sorry.
time. Feel the
Please
weight of
forgive
every
me.
word.
Thank
Divine
you.
riches flow through me
I love you.
because I know who I am. Let that land. Let it move through your nervous system. Let
Dear
it meet the
money,
places where the lie
I
has
am
lived,
sorry.
and let it
Please
offer a different
forgive me.
truth. You are
Thank
not
you.
begging. You
I
are not
love
wishing.
you.
You are
Dear
stating what is
universe,
eternally,
please
cosmically
forgive
true about the
all
nature
my
of your
negative
being.
beliefs
You are not a
about me.
limited creature scraping
Set
at
me
the
free
edges of a
from
finite
all
world.
the limiting
You are a
thoughts
divine
that are
consciousness with
blocking my
unlimited
financial
access to an infinite
abundance.
supply that has no
Thank
beginning
you
and no
for
end,
all
and no
the
preference for anyone over
opportunities
you.
coming my way.
Now let us talk about the
I love
millionaire's
you.
language, because
Dear
wealth speaks
abundance,
differently.
I
And
am
I do
ready
not
to
mean this as a
receive
superficial
wealth
observation
and
about
prosperity
vocabulary.
with
I mean this
joy
in the deepest
and
metaphysical
open heart.
sense.
I
The
am
person who
sorry.
has mastered the
Please
art
forgive
of
me.
receiving abundance
Thank you.
has mastered
I
a
love
particular
you.
relationship with language that is fundamentally different from the person who is still
Dear
imprisoned
money,
by lack.
I am
And the
sorry.
difference is not
Please forgive
sophistication.
me.
It is not
Thank you.
education.
I
It is
love
not
you.
eloquence. It is
Dear
certainty.
universe,
The language
please
of lack is
forgive
always
all
tentative.
my
It
negative
is always
beliefs
apologetic.
about money.
It always carries
Set
within
me
it the
free
seeds of its
from
own
all the
negation.
limiting
I am
thoughts
trying.
that
I
are
hope.
blocking my
I wish.
financial
I would
abundance.
like. Maybe someday.
Thank you for
If things
all
work
the
out.
opportunities
When I have more.
coming my way.
Listen to the
I
architecture of
love
those
you.
phrases.
Dear
Every single one of
abundance,
them places the
I am ready
fulfillment
to
in the
receive
future.
wealth
Every
and
single one of them
prosperity
positions
with
the speaker
joy
as someone
and
waiting
open
for
heart.
external permission,
I am
external
sorry.
circumstance,
Please
external
forgive
grace
me.
to arrive
Thank
before
you.
the desired
I
reality
love
can
you.
become possible. And the universe which, again, is simply responding to the
Dear
instruction it is
money,
given, hears those
I am
phrases
sorry.
and responds
Please
accordingly.
forgive me.
It places the
Thank
fulfillment
you.
in the future.
I love you.
It keeps you in the position of
Dear
waiting.
universe,
It mirrors
please
back
forgive
exactly what you
all
project.
my negative beliefs
The language of
about
wealth is
money.
different not because it
Set
is
me free
delusional, but
from
because it
all the
operates from a
limiting
deeper
thoughts
understanding of
that
how
are
creation
blocking my
works.
financial
The person who
abundance.
speaks in the language of wealth
Thank
has
you
understood
for
that
all
time,
the
as we experience
opportunities
it, is
coming
not
my
the
way.
structure of reality
I
at the
love
deepest
you.
level. At the
Dear
deepest level,
abundance,
everything
I am
that can
ready
be
to
imagined
receive
already
wealth
exists in the
and
invisible,
prosperity
awaiting only
with
the
joy
consciousness that
and
is aligned
open
with it
heart.
to call it visible.
I am
So when
sorry.
the wealthy consciousness
Please
says, I
forgive
have,
me.
when it says,
Thank
it is
you.
done, when
I
it
love
says,
you.
I am, it is not lying, it is not pretending. It is speaking from the level of first
Dear
cause
money,
rather than the level of
I am
effect.
sorry.
It is planting
Please
the seed
forgive
before
me.
the harvest,
Thank
which
you.
is the only
I
logical
love
order
you.
in which planting can
Dear
possibly happen.
universe,
This is what
please
I mean when I
forgive
say,
all
your
my
word
negative
is your
beliefs
wand,
about
not
money.
metaphor,
Set me
mechanism.
free
And the
from all
mechanism
the
works whether
limiting
you are
thoughts
conscious of it
that
or
are
not.
blocking my
This is the
financial
part that should
abundance.
electrify you and also
Thank
sober
you
you
for all the
simultaneously. You have
opportunities
been using the
coming
wand
my way.
every single day
I
of your
love
life.
you.
You have
Dear
been casting
abundance,
spells with every
I am ready
sentence,
to
every
receive
prayer,
wealth
every
and
complaint,
prosperity
every affirmation,
with
every
joy
joke,
and
every
open
offhand
heart.
comment,
I am
every
sorry.
self-deprecating
Please
remark that got a
forgive
laugh
me.
at your own
Thank
expense.
you.
The
I
wand does
love
not
you.
take breaks. The wand does not recognize irony. The wand does not understand when you
Dear
are joking.
money,
It
I
hears
am
the
sorry.
instruction embedded in the
Please
emotional
forgive
charge
me.
of your words,
Thank
and it
you.
executes,
I love
every
you.
time, without
Dear
exception.
universe,
This means,
please
and I need you
forgive
to really sit with
all
this,
my negative
every moment
beliefs
of financial
about
stress in
money.
your life has
Set
been
me
accompanied
free
by
from
language that
all the
matched it.
limiting thoughts
Every period of
that are
abundance,
blocking my
however brief,
financial
has been
abundance.
accompanied by a different kind of
Thank
inner
you
speech.
for all the
You have been proving the
opportunities
law
coming
consistently
my
in
way.
both directions
I
without
love
realizing
you.
it, which means the
Dear
proof is already
abundance,
complete.
I
The
am ready
mechanism
to
works.
receive
You know it
wealth
works.
and
You have
prosperity
experienced it
with
working.
joy
The
and
only
open
question
heart.
remaining is whether
I
you are
am
going to
sorry.
stop using it against
Please
yourself
forgive me.
and start using it for
Thank
yourself.
you. I
Say
love
this
you.
now. I now speak only words that create wealth, worth, and wonder. Every
Dear
syllable
money,
I speak is a
I
seed of
am
my
sorry.
highest reality.
Please forgive
I am the
me.
authority in the
Thank
kingdom of
you.
my own
I
consciousness,
love you.
and I choose now to speak
Dear
as the person I
universe,
was always destined
please
to be.
forgive all
Say
my
it,
negative
mean it,
beliefs
and then
about
this is the
money.
critical part.
Set me
Hold
free
yourself to
from
it.
all the
Not
limiting
perfectly,
thoughts
not in a rigid,
that are
punishing
blocking
way,
my
but with
financial
awareness.
abundance.
With the understanding
Thank
that
you
your
for
casual inner
all the
commentary is not
opportunities
casual at
coming my
all.
way.
with the
I love
recognition
you.
that when the old voice
Dear
rises up,
abundance,
as it will,
I am ready to
you are not
receive
obligated to
wealth
believe it.
and prosperity
You are not obligated
with
to follow
joy
it.
and
You can
open
observe it,
heart.
acknowledge the
I
fear
am
behind
sorry.
it, have compassion
Please
for the
forgive
child
me.
that learned that fear,
Thank you.
and then choose
I
a
love
different
you.
instruction. And I want to be honest with you about the difficulty of this, because too many teachers make
Dear
it sound
money,
simple, and then
I
people
am
try it
sorry.
for 3 days
Please
and feel
forgive
like
me.
failures when the old
Thank
voice
you.
returns.
I love
The
you.
old voice will return.
Dear
It has been
universe,
living in you for
please
decades.
forgive
It has deep
all my
roots.
negative
It has
beliefs
familiar
about
furniture.
money.
It knows every
Set me
corner of your
free
mind,
from
and it
all
knows
the
exactly
limiting
which fear
thoughts
to invoke to
that
make
are
you
blocking
retreat.
my
It
financial
will come back
abundance.
wearing the face of practicality.
Thank you
It
for
will come
all
back
the
wearing the face of
opportunities
humility.
coming my
It will
way.
come back wearing the
I
face of
love you.
protection, the wise older
Dear
voice that
abundance,
says, I am only
I am
trying
ready
to
to
keep you from
receive
being hurt.
wealth
I am
and
only trying to save you
prosperity
from the
with
embarrassment of
joy
wanting
and
too much.
open heart.
And you will be
I
tempted,
am sorry.
again, to
Please
listen.
forgive me.
Do not,
Thank you.
not because the voice
I
is your
love
enemy,
you.
but because it is no longer your authority. You can hear it without obeying it.
Dear money,
You can acknowledge its
I am
presence
sorry.
without giving it the keys
Please
to your
forgive
creative
me.
power.
Thank
You
you.
have outgrown the need
I
for that
love you.
particular protection.
Dear
And part of your
universe,
prosperity work
please
is learning to
forgive
move through the
all my
discomfort
negative
of wanting
beliefs
fully,
about money.
without allowing that
Set me
discomfort
free
to become
from
the reason
all
you
the
retreat.
limiting thoughts
The
that
discomfort
are
you feel
blocking
at the
my
edge of
financial
expansion is not
abundance.
danger. It is the
Thank you
feeling of
for
becoming.
all the
It is the
opportunities
sensation of a life
coming
that is
my way.
growing to include
I
more than
love
it has
you.
held before.
Dear
It is entirely
abundance,
survivable.
I am ready to
It is,
receive
in fact,
wealth
the most
and
aliveness you will
prosperity
ever
with
feel.
joy
And on the other side of
open
it
heart.
is the life you have
I
been
am
calling
sorry.
for, waiting with
Please forgive
extraordinary
me.
patience
Thank
for the
you.
moment you decided to
I
stop
love
letting
you.
discomfort be the excuse. Now I want to tell you about the invisible rehearsal,
Dear money,
because before any
I
great
am
external
sorry.
transformation,
Please forgive
there is
me.
always an internal
Thank you.
transformation that
I
precedes
love
it.
you.
Before the
Dear
mansion
universe,
exists in the physical world,
please forgive
it must exist
all
with
my
perfect
negative
clarity
beliefs
and
about
perfect
money.
detail in the
Set me
imagination.
free from
Before the
all
financial
limiting
freedom shows
thoughts
up in the numbers,
that are
it must
blocking
show
my
up as a felt
financial
reality in the
abundance.
body. Before the
Thank
life you are
for
calling
all
forward
the
appears outside you,
opportunities
it must be
coming my
lived
way.
genuinely,
I love
viscerally,
you.
not as a
Dear
fantasy, but as
abundance,
a real
I am
interior
ready to
experience
receive
inside you.
wealth
The
and
most powerful people in
prosperity
history have
with
known
joy
this.
and
They have called
open
it different
heart.
things across
I
different
am
ages and
sorry.
different traditions.
Please
The
forgive
mystics
me.
called it prayer.
Thank you.
The philosophers
I
called
love
it
you.
idealism. The psychologists call it mental rehearsal. The quantum physicists
Dear
call it the
money,
observer effect.
I am
But they are
sorry.
all pointing at the
Please
same
forgive
truth.
me.
Consciousness
Thank
precedes
you.
form. The
I
inner
love
world
you.
creates the outer world.
Dear universe,
And the person who learns to
please
govern the
forgive
inner world with
all my
precision
negative
and with
beliefs
intention
about
becomes,
money.
not
Set me
metaphorically but
free
literally,
from
the
all the
architect of
limiting
their own
thoughts
reality.
that
This
are
is not a
blocking my
fringe idea.
financial
This is not
abundance.
wishful thinking.
Thank
This
you
is the
for
fundamental
all the
operating principle of a
opportunities
universe made of
coming my
consciousness.
way.
And you are
I
made of
love you.
consciousness, which means you
Dear
are not subject to
abundance,
this principle.
I am
You
ready
are
to
this
receive
principle.
wealth
You are
and
not inside
prosperity
the creative
with
force.
joy and
You are the
open
creative
heart.
force.
I
You are
am
not
sorry.
waiting for the universe to
Please
notice
forgive
you.
me.
You are a
Thank you.
localized expression
I
of the
love you.
universe noticing itself. Do you understand what this means for your life? Do you
Dear
understand what this
money,
means for every
I
desire
am
you have
sorry.
ever been ashamed to
Please
name?
forgive
Every
me.
dream you have tucked
Thank
away in the
you.
drawer labeled
I
too much
love
for
you.
someone like me?
Dear
It means those
universe,
desires are not
please
random.
forgive
They are not
all my
accidents.
negative
They are not
beliefs
evidence of
about
your
money.
arrogance or your
Set
delusion.
me free
They are
from all
instructions
the
from a
limiting
deeper
thoughts
intelligence that
that are
already
blocking
knows the
my
path
financial
forward,
abundance.
that already sees the version of
Thank
you
you
that is
for
living in
all the
complete alignment
opportunities
with your
coming
highest
my way.
expression,
I
and that
love
is
you.
using desire
Dear
as the mechanism to
abundance,
draw you
I
toward
am
it.
ready to receive
Your desire is your
wealth
direction.
and
Your desire
prosperity
is not
with
the enemy
joy
of your
and
spirituality.
open heart.
Your
I
desire
am
is the
sorry.
voice of creation,
Please forgive
speaking through
me.
your unique
Thank
consciousness
you.
toward the
I love you.
experiences that will most fully express everything you were made to be. Think about this carefully,
Dear
because
money,
it dismantles one of the
I am
most
sorry.
damaging lies that has
Please
ever been
forgive
inserted
me.
into spiritual
Thank
teaching.
you.
The
I
idea that
love
wanting
you.
is dangerous.
Dear
The idea
universe,
that desire must be
please
renounced,
forgive
suppressed,
all my negative
apologized
beliefs
for,
about
hidden.
money.
qualified
set
with
me free
disclaimers about
from
being
all
grateful
the
for what you
limiting
already
thoughts
have, as though
that are
gratitude and
blocking my
desire are
financial
opposites rather
abundance.
than the two wings of the
Thank
same
you
bird.
for all the
Gratitude says, I
opportunities
recognize the
coming
goodness
my
that is
way.
already present.
I love
Desire
you.
says, I can
Dear
see the goodness
abundance,
that is available,
I am
and I
ready
am
to
ready to
receive
receive more of it.
wealth and
They are not
prosperity
contradictions.
with
They
joy
are
and
companions.
open heart.
And a
I
spirituality
am
that teaches you
sorry.
to be grateful
Please
while
forgive
teaching you to
me.
suppress your desire
Thank you.
has not set
I
you
love
free.
you.
It has found a more sophisticated way to keep you small. So stop apologizing for
Dear
wanting.
money,
Stop editing your
I am
desires down
sorry.
to a size that
Please
seems
forgive
appropriate.
me.
Stop
Thank
negotiating with
you.
the infinite
I
and
love
asking for the
you.
discount version of the
Dear
life you were made
universe,
for.
please
Ask for the whole
forgive
thing.
all
Claim
my
the whole
negative
thing.
belief about
Embody
money.
the whole thing in your
Set me
imagination
free
with such
from
vivid
all the
completeness
limiting
that your
thoughts
nervous system
that are
literally cannot
blocking
tell
my
the difference
financial
between the rehearsal
abundance.
and the reality.
Thank you
Because when you
for
reach that level
all
of
the
embodiment,
opportunities
the law has
coming
no
my way.
choice. It must
I love
produce.
you.
It must match.
Dear
It must find a
abundance,
way to make the
I
outer
am
world
ready to
correspond to
receive
the inner world,
wealth
because
and
that is what laws
prosperity
do.
with
That is what they
joy
have
and
always done.
open heart.
Say this with me
I
now.
am sorry.
I am already living
Please
as the
forgive
fullest
me.
version of myself in my
Thank you.
imagination.
I
I
love you.
rehearse my richest life now, in this moment, in this body, in this breath.
Dear
I
money,
feel what she feels.
I am sorry.
I walk as she
Please
walks.
forgive
I make
me.
decisions as she makes
Thank you.
decisions. And
I
because I
love
live there
you.
first, I arrive
Dear
there
universe,
always. And let
please
us talk about
forgive
arriving there,
all my
because there is a
negative
quality
belief
of physical
about money.
presence that prosperity
Set me
responds
free
to,
from
and most
all the
people have
limiting
never been taught
thoughts
this.
that are
There is something
blocking
that
my
happens in the
financial
body when a
abundance.
person has genuinely
Thank
settled
you
into the
for
identity of
all the
abundance, something
opportunities
visible,
coming my
something that the
way.
room responds
I
to
love
before
you.
a single word is spoken.
Dear
It
abundance,
is not
I
arrogance.
am ready
It
to
is not
receive
performance. It is
wealth
not the
and
manufactured
prosperity
confidence of someone
with
who is trying
joy
too hard to
and
seem
open
unafraid.
heart.
It is something
I am
quieter
sorry.
and more powerful than
Please
any of
forgive
that.
me.
It is the
Thank
settled,
you.
peaceful,
I love
unshakable
you.
authority of a person who knows who they are and who knows what they are worth, and who has released the need for
Dear
the
money,
external world to
I
validate
am
those
sorry.
things before acting on
Please
them.
forgive me.
You have felt it from
Thank
other
you.
people. You
I
have
love
walked into
you.
a room and felt
Dear
someone's energy
universe,
before you saw their
please
face.
forgive
You have sat
all my
across a
negative
table from
belief
someone and felt,
about money.
without being able to
Set
explain
me
why,
free
that
from
this person
all
is
the
different.
limiting
This
thoughts
person carries
that are
something.
blocking
You
my
are not
financial
imagining that.
abundance.
You are perceiving
Thank
something
you
real.
for
You
all
are
the
perceiving the
opportunities
coherence of a
coming
person
my
whose
way.
inner and outer
I
worlds
love
are in
you.
alignment, whose
Dear
identity and
abundance,
their daily
I
lived
am ready to
experience are
receive
vibrating at the
wealth
same
and
frequency.
prosperity
That
with
coherence is
joy
palpable.
and
It
open
crosses
heart.
space.
I
It
am
precedes
sorry.
language.
Please
And it is the
forgive
single
me.
most powerful
Thank
signal you
you.
can send into the
I
field of
love you.
creation, because the universe responds to coherence the way iron responds to a magnet,
Dear
automatically,
money,
immediately,
I am
without
sorry.
deliberation.
Please
Most
forgive
people are
me.
walking
Thank
contradictions.
you.
They say they
I
want
love
wealth,
you.
while their body language
Dear
telegraphs
universe,
apology.
please
They say they
forgive
deserve more,
all my
while their
negative
eyes ask
belief
permission to
about
be in the
money.
room. They
Set me
post
free
affirmations
from
and
all
speak
the limiting
scarcity.
thoughts
They pray for
that are
expansion
blocking
and
my
live in
financial
contraction.
abundance.
And the universe, being
Thank
the
you
perfect
for
mirror that it
all the
is,
opportunities
responds to the deeper
coming my
signal,
way.
the one in the body,
I love
in the
you.
posture, in the
Dear
nervous system,
abundance,
in the
I am
habitual
ready to
emotional
receive
state,
wealth
rather than the
and
surface signal of the
prosperity
words they have
with
chosen to
joy
perform.
and open
This is
heart.
not judgment,
I
this
am
is
sorry.
information, because
Please
it means
forgive
that the
me.
path forward
Thank
is
you.
not about learning
I
new
love you.
vocabulary, or adopting new rituals, or finding the right affirmation that finally breaks through.
Dear money,
The path forward
I am
is about
sorry.
integration.
Please forgive
It is about
me.
bringing the inside
Thank
and the
you.
outside into the
I
same
love
story.
you.
It is about
Dear
letting what you know
universe,
intellectually land
please
in your
forgive
bones.
all
It
my
is about
negative
feeling wealthy
belief
before the
about
evidence
money.
arrives, not
Set
because
me
you are
free
pretending
from
or
all
lying
the
or
limiting
bypassing
thoughts
reality, but
that
because
are
you
blocking
understand
my
that the feeling
financial
is the cause,
abundance.
and the evidence is the
Thank
effect.
you for
And causes
all the
always precede
opportunities
effects, which
coming
means
my way.
if you wait for the
I
evidence
love
before
you.
you allow yourself the
Dear
feeling,
abundance,
you have reversed
I
the
am
order
ready
of
to
creation
receive
and
wealth
guaranteed that the
and
thing you want will
prosperity
forever remain
with
just
joy
out of
and
reach.
open heart.
Decide now how the
I am
wealthiest version of
sorry.
you sits in a chair.
Please forgive
Decide
me.
how she walks into a
Thank
room.
you.
Decide
I
how she
love
responds when someone underestimates her. Does she collapse? Does she argue? Does she shrink?
you. Dear money,
Or does she smile with a
I
quiet
am
certainty
sorry.
that comes from knowing
Please
something they do
forgive
not
me.
yet know, that who
Thank
she is
you.
cannot be diminished
I
by who
love
they think
you.
she is?
Dear
Decide now how
universe,
she speaks about money,
please forgive
not loudly,
all my
not
negative
defensively, but with the ease of a person for whom money is not a god to be worshipped or a devil to be feared, but simply a tool, a resource, a naturally occurring consequence of living in alignment with value and purpose. Decide now how she responds to opportunities. Does she hesitate at the threshold of every door, running through every reason it might not work, every way she might fail, every judgment that might come? Or does she move with the unhurried confidence of someone who trusts the intelligence that placed the opportunity in her path? Become her now, not when you have the money, now. Because the law does not reward the deserving, it responds to the embodied. An embodiment is a choice that is available to you in this exact moment, regardless of what your bank account says, regardless of what year it is, regardless of how long you have been living in the old story. The choice is available now. Say this: I walk as wealth before wealth walks into my life. I carry the frequency of my fulfilled desires in my body today. I am not becoming. I am arriving. I have arrived. Now I must speak to you about something that most prosperity teachings never address, because there is a deeper layer to the poverty consciousness than the language and the posture and the beliefs about money. There is an energetic layer. There is a soul level layer. And if you do not address this layer, you can repeat affirmations until you are breathless and vision board yourself into a paper cathedral and nothing will change, because the roots of the pattern go deeper than the techniques you are applying reach. I call it spiritual bankruptcy, and it is not about money. Spiritual bankruptcy is what happens when you have given your power away for so long in so many small and seemingly innocent ways that your inner account is overdrawn. Every time you said yes when you meant no, you made a withdrawal. Every time you made yourself smaller so that someone else could feel larger, you made a withdrawal. Every time you silenced a desire because you were afraid of being judged for having it, you made a withdrawal. Every time you betrayed your own knowing to keep the peace, to maintain approval, to avoid conflict, to be acceptable, withdrawal, withdrawal, withdrawal. And you have been trying to create a wealthy life from an overdrawn account. You have been wondering why the manifestations are not coming, why the affirmations are not working, why the vision board just sits there looking like a beautiful lie. And the answer is not that the law does not work. The answer is that the instruction you are giving with your words is being canceled by the deeper instruction you are giving with your choices, your boundaries, your patterns of self-betrayal. Wealth, real wealth, the soul-level wealth that includes but is not limited to financial abundance. Wealth requires wholeness. It requires that you are actually present in your own life, that your energy is gathered rather than scattered, that you are investing in yourself as generously as you invest in being acceptable to others, that you have canceled the unspoken contracts you made with limitation in the name of belonging. Because here is what no one told you. You do not have to earn the right to exist abundantly. You do not have to justify your desires to anyone. You do not have to explain why you want what you want, or prove that you deserve it, or demonstrate that you have suffered enough to be worthy of receiving it. The inheritance was yours at birth. It was never contingent on your performance. It was never conditional on your obedience to any system that told you to ask for less. It was yours. It is yours. It has always been yours. And so the work is not to earn it. The work is to stop refusing it. The work is to stop looking at the open hand of the universe and saying, "No, thank you. I am not sure I deserve this. Let me think about it. Let me check first to see if this is really meant for me, or if maybe you have me confused with someone else." Stop refusing it. Stop qualifying it. Stop making it smaller so it feels safer to receive. Open. Just open. Open in your body, in your mind, in your sense of self, in your expectations, in your habitual relationship with possibility. Open to the magnitude of what was always being offered. Say this now: I cancel every unconscious agreement I ever made with lack. I revoke every subconscious vow I took in the name of humility that was actually the name of fear. I call back every fragment of my power that I gave away to anyone, to any system, to any story that was never true. I am whole. I am full. I am here. And I am open. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you are signing a new contract. Say it like heaven is listening and you know it, and you are choosing finally,
forgive
irrevocably,
all my
with your whole
negative
self,
beliefs
to
about
receive.
me.
Now let me
Set
speak
me
to you
free
about the
from
mirror,
all the
because
limiting
how you
thoughts
see yourself
that
is
are
not a
blocking
vanity
my
concern.
financial
It is a
abundance.
prosperity concern.
Thank you
What you
for
receive from
all the
life is
opportunities
always
coming my
proportional
way.
to what you
I love
believe you are
you.
worth receiving,
Dear
not to what
abundance,
you deserve in
I
some
am ready to
abstract moral
receive
sense.
wealth
Worth,
and
the deep,
prosperity with
cellular,
joy and
bone-level sense
open
of
heart.
worthiness that
I
determines
am
what you allow,
sorry.
what you accept,
Please
what you
forgive
claim,
me.
what you turn
Thank
away
you.
from,
I
without even
love
knowing
you.
you are doing it. And this worthiness lives in the mirror, not the glass mirror, though the
Dear
glass
money,
mirror is a useful
I
tool
am
for
sorry.
examining it.
Please
The mirror
forgive me.
of your mind.
Thank
The
you.
image you carry of
I
yourself
love you.
in the deepest part of your
Dear
consciousness.
universe,
The image that
please
was formed
forgive
before you had
all
words
my
for it,
negative
before you
beliefs
had the
about
ability to
money.
examine it critically,
Set me free
before you
from
understood that
all
it
the
was
limiting
optional,
thoughts
that it was chosen,
that are
that it could
blocking
be
my
changed.
financial
That
abundance.
image, how does she look?
Thank you
Is
for
she
all the
confident or is she
opportunities
apologetic?
coming my
Is she
way.
expansive
I
or is
love
she
you.
contracted? Is she
Dear
someone the
abundance,
universe would look at
I am
and
ready
say
to
yes,
receive
clearly,
wealth and
obviously?
prosperity
This is a
with
person for whom
joy and
extraordinary
open
things are
heart.
appropriate. Or
I
is
am
she someone
sorry.
who has unconsciously
Please
shrunk
forgive
herself to
me.
a size that will
Thank
not
you.
provoke envy,
I
will
love
not
you.
invite criticism, will not be too much? Because here is the hard truth. If the
Dear
image in the
money,
mirror of your mind is
I am
small, the
sorry.
life it
Please
magnetizes will be
forgive me.
small. The image in
Thank
the
you.
mind is the
I
blueprint.
love
The
you.
blueprint creates the
Dear
structure.
universe,
You cannot build a
please
cathedral from the
forgive
blueprint of a
all
cottage, no
my
matter how
negative
hard you work,
beliefs
no
about
matter how
money.
many hours you log,
Set me
no matter how
free
many
from
strategies you
all the
employ.
limiting
The
thoughts
ceiling is set
that
by
are
the image,
blocking my
not by the
financial
effort.
abundance.
So the image must
Thank
change
you
first,
for all the
not as a consequence of
opportunities
your
coming
circumstances
my way.
improving.
I
First,
love you.
before the evidence,
Dear
before the money
abundance,
arrives,
I am
before
ready
the
to receive
relationships transform,
wealth and
before the career
prosperity
takes flight.
with joy
The image
and
must be
open
upgraded
heart.
now, in the
I
inner
am
world,
sorry.
because the inner
Please
world is
forgive
the
me.
only world where you
Thank
have
you.
complete
I
jurisdiction,
love you.
complete creative authority, complete freedom to build exactly what you choose.
Dear
Stand
money,
before your mirror,
I am
not to
sorry.
examine your flaws,
Please
not to
forgive me.
catalog what needs to
Thank
change,
you.
not to compare
I
yourself
love
to any
you.
standard that was set by
Dear
anything outside you.
universe, please
Stand before
forgive
your mirror
all
to
my
behold
negative
what is actually
beliefs
there,
about money.
a divine being
Set me
of
free
infinite
from
worth,
all the
with complete
limiting
access
thoughts
to all of
that are
creation's
blocking my
resources,
financial
wearing a particular
abundance.
body and a particular
Thank you
name and a
for
particular
all the
history, but not
opportunities
defined or limited
coming
by
my
any of
way.
those things.
I love you.
Stand before your mirror and
Dear
refuse.
abundance,
Absolutely
I am
refuse
ready
to
to
see
receive
anything less than that.
wealth and
Say aloud,
prosperity
I
with
see the truth of
joy
what I
and
am.
open
I see
heart.
the wealth in my
I
eyes.
am
I
sorry.
see the power in my
Please
presence.
forgive
I
me.
see the future that is
Thank
already
you.
mine
I
reflected in this
love you.
face. I do not see my past. I do not see my limitations. I see my
Dear
wholeness,
money,
and I claim it
I am
fully.
sorry.
And then stay
Please
there.
forgive
Stay with
me.
that image. Let
Thank
it
you.
become the default.
I love you.
Let it replace the old image the
Dear
way the sun
universe,
replaces the night, not by
please
fighting the
forgive
darkness, but simply
all
by
my
shining,
negative beliefs
continuously
about
and without
money.
apology,
Set
until
me
there is no
free
room
from
left for anything
all the
but light.
limiting thoughts
Now I want to
that
address
are
something
blocking my
directly,
financial
because there is a pattern
abundance.
that keeps people in
Thank
poverty
you
longer than
for
any other
all the
single thing,
opportunities
and it is this:
coming my
the
way.
posture of
I love
supplication,
you.
the
Dear
spiritual stance of the
abundance,
beggar,
I am
the
ready to
energetic
receive
frequency of someone
wealth
who is
and
waiting to be given
prosperity
something,
with
rather than
joy
someone who
and
understands
open
that they
heart.
already have it
I
and are
am
simply
sorry.
calling it forth.
Please
You
forgive
have felt
me.
this in yourself.
Thank you.
The moment of
I
prayer
love you.
that is really a moment of pleading. The visualization session that is really a session of
Dear
hoping that the
money,
universe will notice
I
you
am
and
sorry.
decide to help.
Please forgive
The
me.
affirmation that underneath
Thank
all the
you.
positive words
I
is
love
still
you.
shot through with doubt,
Dear
with the whispered
universe,
question of, but what
please
if it doesn't
forgive
work? But what
all
if I
my
am
negative
wrong?
beliefs
But what if
about
I am not
money.
the kind of person
Set
this
me
works
free
for?
from
And the
all the
universe,
limiting
patient,
thoughts that
impersonal,
are blocking my
always responding,
financial
hears that
abundance.
frequency. It hears
Thank
the
you
doubt more
for
clearly
all
than
the
it hears the words.
opportunities
It
coming
reads
my
the
way.
vibration
I
rather than
love
the
you.
vocabulary, and
Dear
it responds
abundance, I am
faithfully and
ready to
accurately
receive
to the
wealth
doubt.
and
This is
prosperity
not about
with
positive
joy
thinking as a
and
spiritual
open heart.
bypass. This is
I
not
am
about
sorry.
pretending that challenges do not
Please
exist,
forgive
or
me.
that discipline is not
Thank you.
required, or
I
that
love
faith
you.
without action is fantasy. This is about something much more precise. It is about the
Dear
difference between
money,
asking
I
and
am
knowing,
sorry.
between
Please
hoping
forgive
and
me.
claiming. Between the posture of
I
someone
love
who is
you.
uncertain whether they are
Dear
eligible for the
universe,
life they want,
please
and the
forgive
posture of someone
all
who
my
knows,
negative
with the
beliefs
certainty of
about
their
me.
own being,
Set
that
me
the life
free
they are
from
calling
all
for
the
was made for
limiting
them.
thoughts
The law does
that
not
are
respond to
blocking my
desire,
financial
it responds to
abundance.
identity. It does
Thank
not
you
give you what you
for
want,
all the
it gives you what you are.
opportunities coming
And what
my
you are
way.
is determined
I
not
love
by your
you.
circumstances, but by the
Dear
story you are
abundance,
telling about yourself
I'm
in the
ready to
deepest
receive
chamber of your consciousness.
wealth and
So
prosperity
stop asking,
with joy
start knowing,
and open
stop
heart.
hoping, start
I am
claiming.
sorry.
Stop
Please
performing the
forgive
spiritual
me.
practices of
Thank
poverty,
you.
the desperate
I
prayer,
love
the
you.
anxious manifestation, the worried visualization, and start operating from the consciousness of the
Dear
person who
money,
has already
I
arrived,
am sorry.
who already
Please
knows,
forgive
who is
me.
already living the
Thank
answered
you.
prayer, in
I
the only
love
place
you.
that has ever mattered,
Dear
the inner
universe,
world, from which
please
all outer
forgive
worlds are born.
all my negative
Say this,
beliefs
not as
about
a wish, as a
Set me
declaration,
free
as a
from
state of
all
being,
the limiting
already
thoughts
true,
that
already
are
real,
blocking my
already
financial
sealed.
abundance.
I do not beg for abundance.
Thank you
I am the
for
expression through
all
which
the
abundance moves.
opportunities coming
I do
my
not
way.
chase success.
I love
I
you.
am the identity that
Dear
success is drawn to.
abundance,
I do
I'm
not
ready
hope
to
for the life I
receive
desire.
wealth
I am
and
the person
prosperity
for whom
with
that life is
joy
the natural,
and open
inevitable
heart.
consequence
I am
of being
sorry.
exactly who I
Please
am.
forgive me.
Say it again,
Thank you.
louder, with
I
more
love
certainty.
you.
Let the cells of your body hear it. Let the field around you shift. Let
Dear
the
money,
invisible architecture of your
I am
future
sorry.
begin to rearrange
Please
itself to
forgive
match
me.
the truth you are now
Thank
speaking.
you.
I
I
do not
love
beg
you.
for abundance. I
Dear
am the
universe,
expression through which abundance
please
moves.
forgive
I do
all
not
my
chase
negative
success.
beliefs
I
about
am the identity that success
Set
is
me
drawn
free
to.
from
I do
all
not
the
hope for the
limiting
life I
thoughts
desire.
that are
I am the
blocking my
person for whom
financial
that life is the
abundance.
natural, inevitable
Thank you
consequence
for
of
all
being
the
exactly who I am.
opportunities coming
Yes,
my way.
that
I
is
love
the
you.
frequency. Hold
Dear
it.
abundance,
Now, let
I'm
us go
ready
to
to
the deepest
receive
place,
wealth
the place
and
of full
prosperity
activation,
with
the
joy
place where
and
everything we have
open
spoken
heart.
becomes not just
I am
inspiration but
sorry.
instruction,
Please
not just
forgive
philosophy
me.
but lived,
Thank you.
embodied,
I
cellular
love you.
reality. Because inspiration without activation is just beautiful noise, and you have heard
Dear
beautiful noise
money,
before,
I am
and it has
sorry.
moved you, and then the
Please
moment
forgive
passed,
me.
and the old
Thank
patterns
you.
reasserted themselves,
I
and you
love
found
you.
yourself back in the same
Dear
conversation with the
universe,
same ceiling and the
please
same
forgive
sense of almost
all
but
my
not
negative
quite.
beliefs
That
about
ends today.
Set
Today,
me
we are
free
not just
from all
inspiring
the
you,
limiting
we are
thoughts
activating you.
that are blocking
We
my
are initiating a
financial
shift at the level of
abundance.
identity that is
Thank
permanent,
you
not because it
for
is
all
forced,
the
but because it is chosen,
opportunities
clearly
coming
and
my way.
consciously, and with
I
complete
love you.
understanding of what is being chosen.
Dear abundance,
You are choosing to
I'm
be a
ready
different
to
kind of
receive
person from this
wealth
moment
and
forward.
prosperity
Not a better
with
person in the
joy
moral sense,
and open
a more
heart.
fully expressed
I am
person,
sorry.
a more honest
Please
person,
forgive
honest
me.
about what you
Thank
desire,
you.
about what you are
I
worth,
love you.
about what you came here to experience and create and give and receive. A
Dear
person who
money,
lives without the
I
apology
am
that has been
sorry.
built into your
Please
every
forgive
movement,
me.
your every want,
Thank
your
you.
every dream.
I love you.
You are choosing to drop the
Dear
poverty
universe,
performance, to
please
stop
forgive
acting out the script
all
of the
my
person
negative
who was never
beliefs
meant to have
about
too
me.
much, to
Set
stop
me
playing the
free
role that
from
was
all
assigned to
the
you
limiting
by a
thoughts
fear-based world
that are
that
blocking my
confused safety with
financial
smallness.
abundance.
You are choosing to
Thank
write a
you
new
for
script,
all
to
the
rehearse a new
opportunities
identity,
coming my way.
to become, in
I
the
love
laboratory
you.
of your own
Dear
consciousness, the
abundance,
person that the
I'm ready
circumstances
to
of your life
receive
will have no
wealth
choice
and
but to
prosperity
reflect back to
with
you.
joy
This is the
and
covenant.
open heart.
This is the
I am
declaration.
sorry.
This is the
Please
moment you step
forgive
across
me.
the threshold
Thank
from
you.
the life you have
I
been
love
living
you.
into the life that was always waiting for you. And I want you to understand what a threshold
Dear
is.
money,
It is
I
not a
am
place,
sorry.
it
Please
is a
forgive
decision.
me.
The
Thank
geography
you.
of your life
I
does
love
not need
you.
to change in this moment
Dear
for the
universe,
threshold to be real.
please forgive
You do not need a
all
different
my
city,
negative
or a
beliefs
different bank
about
account,
money.
or a different history,
Set me
or a
free
different set of
from all the
circumstances to
limiting
cross this
thoughts
threshold.
that are
You
blocking
need
my
only a
financial
different identity,
abundance.
a different
Thank you
self-definition,
for all the
a different
opportunities
answer to the question
coming
that
my
the
way.
universe is always
I love
asking
you.
you with every sunrise,
Dear
with every
abundance,
heartbeat, with
I'm
every
ready to
breath.
receive
Who are you
wealth
today?
and
Who are you
prosperity
today?
with
Are you the
joy
person who was
and
defined by
open
what
heart.
happened to her? Or
I
are you
am
the person who
sorry.
defines what happens
Please
next?
forgive me.
Are you the person who
Thank
is
you.
waiting to feel
I
worthy
love
before she
you.
acts? Or are you the person who understands that the action itself is the declaration of
Dear
worthiness.
money,
Are you the person who
I am
needs the money
sorry.
to arrive before
Please
she allows
forgive
herself
me.
the consciousness of
Thank
wealth?
you.
Or are you the
I
person who
love you.
understands that the consciousness of
Dear
wealth is the
universe,
only thing that has ever
please
made money
forgive
arrive?
all my
Who are you
negative
today?
belief about
Choose.
money.
Right now.
Set me free
Choose
from
deliberately,
all the
consciously,
limiting
with
thoughts
every part of your
that are
awareness
blocking
focused on
my
the choice
financial
and its
abundance.
implications. Choose
Thank
the
you
identity of
for
your
all
highest
the
self not because it
opportunities
is comfortable,
coming
it
my
may not be
way.
comfortable,
I
at least
love
not
you.
immediately, but because it is
Dear
true.
abundance,
Because it is the
I'm
most
ready to
accurate
receive
description of what you
wealth
actually are
and
when you strip
prosperity
away the
with
conditioning
joy
and the fear
and
and the
open heart.
accumulated testimony
I
of
am
every person
sorry.
who ever told you that
Please
you were
forgive
less than
me.
unlimited.
Thank you.
Stand, if
I
you can.
love you.
Place your hand over the place where your heart lives in your chest. Feel it beating. Feel the
Dear money,
magnificent,
I
relentless,
am sorry.
intelligent life of a
Please
body
forgive
that has
me.
kept you alive
Thank
and
you.
breathing and
I love
present
you.
for every moment you have been
Dear
on this earth.
universe,
That is not
please
accident.
forgive
That is not
all my
random.
negative belief
That is
about
evidence.
money.
Evidence that you are
Set me
supported.
free from
Evidence
all
that
the
life is for
limiting
you.
thoughts
Evidence
that
that
are
the same
blocking my
intelligence that
financial
keeps your heart
abundance.
beating without your instruction
Thank you
has also
for
prepared the
all
path
the
of your highest
opportunities
expression and
coming
is
my
holding
way.
it open right
I
now,
love you.
waiting for you to say
Dear
yes.
abundance,
Say yes.
I'm ready to receive
Say it with your full body
wealth
and your
and
whole voice
prosperity
and every
with
ounce of the
joy
conviction that has
and
been
open
building in you
heart.
through every word
I
of
am
this
sorry.
declaration. I
Please
step
forgive
fully into
me.
my millionaire identity
Thank you.
now, not
I
becoming,
love you.
not trying, not hoping. I step in. I am in. I have crossed the
Dear
threshold,
money,
and I am never going
I
back to
am
the smaller
sorry.
story.
Please
I
forgive
think in the
me.
language of wealth.
Thank you.
I speak in the
I
frequency of
love
abundance.
you.
I move through the
Dear
world with the
universe,
presence of a person who
please
knows who she
forgive
is.
all my
I make
negative
decisions from the
belief
identity
about
of my
money.
highest self,
Set me
not the
free
history of
from
my limited
all the
past.
limiting
I
thoughts
invest in myself
that
without
are blocking
apology.
my
I
financial
receive without guilt.
abundance.
I expand
Thank
without
you
permission.
for
I
all the
shine without shame.
opportunities
All
coming
that I
my
have
way.
ever desired
I
is
love
already
you.
real in the
Dear
invisible world of
abundance,
first cause.
I'm
It
ready
is
to
finished
receive
there. It is
wealth
whole there.
and prosperity
It is waiting only
with
for my
joy
consciousness to
and
align with
open
it
heart.
completely. And
I
today,
am sorry.
I bring that
Please
alignment into
forgive
being.
me.
Today I
Thank
make
you.
the invisible
I
visible
love you.
by the only mechanism that has ever worked. Faith. Not the weak faith of someone
Dear
who is not
money,
sure.
I am
The
sorry.
absolute,
Please
unhesitating,
forgive me.
reality-creating
Thank you.
faith
I
of
love
someone
you.
who has looked at the law of
Dear
consciousness
universe,
and understood that it
please
works every
forgive
time,
all
without
my negative
exception,
belief
and has
about
decided to
money.
use it,
Set me
consciously and
free
fully,
from all
for
the
the life
limiting
that was
thoughts
always meant to be.
that are blocking
Place
my
both hands on your
financial
heart now.
abundance.
Feel it.
Thank you
Breathe in the
for
fullness
all
of
the
everything you are.
opportunities
And
coming
say
my
this
way.
final declaration
I love
with the
you.
quiet authority of
Dear
someone who is not
abundance,
performing belief,
I'm ready
but
to
living it.
receive
I am
wealth
the
and
millionaire.
prosperity
Not in the future.
with joy
Now.
and
Not
open
after the
heart.
evidence.
I
Now.
am sorry.
I am the vessel through
Please
which wealth
forgive
flows.
me.
I am
Thank
the
you.
identity
I
that
love
prosperity
you.
recognizes and rushes toward. I am the person for whom great things are not
Dear
a
money,
surprise but a natural
I am
consequence of
sorry.
the truth I have
Please
always
forgive
known
me.
and have now
Thank
chosen to
you.
live.
I
I
love
walk
you.
in this truth. I
Dear
rule from this
universe,
truth. I
please
create from
forgive
this truth.
all my
And nothing
negative
in the
belief
visible world
about
can
money.
shake what has been
Set me
established
free
in the
from
invisible
all
world
the
of
limiting
my
thoughts
consciousness.
that are
It is
blocking my
done.
financial
Let the silence
abundance.
after this hold the weight of what
Thank
has just
you
been
for
spoken.
all the
Let the
opportunities
declaration land in
coming
every
my
cell,
way.
every
I
synapse,
love you.
every layer of the
Dear
consciousness that is you.
abundance,
Let it
I'm
move
ready to
through the old
receive
patterns, not with
wealth
force,
and
but with the quiet
prosperity
certainty of
with
a light that
joy
has been
and
turned on in a
open
room
heart.
that has been dark for a
I
long
am
time.
sorry.
You did not
Please
find these
forgive
words by
me.
accident.
Thank
You were
you.
ready for them.
I love you.
The readiness came before the reading, and the readiness is itself evidence of the shift that has
Dear
already
money,
begun in you.
I
The
am
part of
sorry.
you that responded to
Please
these words,
forgive me.
that felt the truth of
Thank
them
you.
moving in your body,
I love
that found
you.
yourself breathing differently,
Dear
sitting
universe,
differently,
please
imagining
forgive
differently, that
all
part
my
of you is the
negative
real
belief
you,
about
not the
money.
defended self,
Set me
not the
free
habituated
from
self,
all the limiting
not the self that
thoughts
learned long
that
ago
are
to expect
blocking my
less, to hurt
financial
less.
abundance.
The real you, the whole
Thank
you,
you for
the
all
divine
the
creative consciousness
opportunities
that put
coming
on a
my
human
way.
life to
I
experience
love
the
you.
extraordinary
Dear
adventure of
abundance,
creating the invisible
I'm
into the
ready to
visible
receive
through the instrument
wealth
of your
and
unique,
prosperity
unrepeatable,
with
magnificent
joy
presence.
and open heart.
That is who you are.
I am sorry.
That is who you have always
Please
been.
forgive me.
And now,
Thank
finally,
you.
you
I
know it.
love you.
Move as that person. Speak as that person. Decide as that person.
Dear
Choose
money,
as that person
I am
chooses.
sorry.
Invest as that
Please
person
forgive me.
invests.
Thank
Receive
you.
as that person
I
receives
love
fully,
you.
gratefully,
Dear
without shrinking the
universe,
gift down to a size that
please
seems more
forgive
appropriate for
all
someone
my
of your
negative
alleged
beliefs
station.
about me.
You have no station.
Set me
You have
free
only
from
consciousness.
all the limiting
And
thoughts
consciousness,
that are
when it is
blocking
aligned
my
with truth,
financial
has
abundance.
access to everything.
Thank you
Everything.
for all the
Take that with you
opportunities
into every room
coming
you
my
walk
way.
into. Carry
I
it in your
love
body
you.
when you are tired,
Dear
when the evidence is
abundance,
slow to
I
arrive,
am ready
when
to
the old
receive
voice rises up
wealth
and tries
and
to reassign you
prosperity
to the smaller
with
story.
joy
In
and
those moments,
open heart.
especially in those moments,
I am
return
sorry.
here. Return to
Please
this
forgive
declaration.
me.
Return to
Thank
this
you.
identity.
I love
Return
you.
to the truth that was spoken over your life today, not as inspiration, but as instruction. Not
Dear
as a
money,
beautiful idea, but as
I
the
am
operating
sorry.
law of your being.
Please forgive
You are
me.
not trying to
Thank
manifest.
you.
You are not
I
hoping to
love
attract.
you.
You are not waiting
Dear
for the universe
universe,
to notice you.
please forgive
You are the universe
all my
noticing
negative
itself.
belief
You
about
are the
me.
creative force of
Set
all of
me free
existence,
from
wearing your
all the
specific
limiting
name
thoughts
and your
that
specific
are
body
blocking
and
my
your specific
financial
history,
abundance.
none of which defines you,
Thank
all
you
of which is
for
the canvas
all
on
the
which you are now,
opportunities
beginning
coming
today,
my way.
beginning this
I
breath,
love you.
painting the most
Dear
extraordinary
abundance, I
self-portrait
am ready to
ever
receive
made.
wealth
Let the
and
silence after this
prosperity
hold the
with
weight of what
joy
has just been
and
spoken.
open heart.
Let the
I am
declaration land in
sorry.
every cell,
Please
every
forgive
synapse,
me.
every layer of
Thank
the
you.
consciousness that is
I
you.
love you.
Let it move through the old patterns, not with force, but with the quiet certainty of a light that has
Dear
been turned
money,
on in a room that has
I
been
am
dark for a
sorry.
very long time.
Please forgive
Let it
me.
reach the places that have
Thank
never
you.
been touched by this
I
kind of
love
permission
you.
before. The place
Dear
that believed it was
universe,
excluded.
please
The place that
forgive
believed the
all
abundance
my negative
was for someone
belief
else.
about
The
money.
place that learned to want
Set me
quietly,
free
so the
from all
disappointment
the
would be more
limiting
manageable.
thoughts that are
Let the light
blocking my
reach those
financial
places.
abundance.
Let them be seen.
Thank
Let
you
them be
for
healed by the
all the
only thing that has ever
opportunities
healed anything,
coming my way.
the truth,
I
seen
love
clearly,
you.
without flinching,
Dear
without
abundance,
apology.
I am
Because
ready
you
to
are
receive
here, all
wealth
of you,
and
and all of
prosperity
you is enough.
with joy
All of you
and
has
open
always
heart.
been enough.
I am
All of
sorry.
you is, in
Please
fact,
forgive me.
precisely
Thank
and
you.
perfectly
I
and
love
exactly
you.
the vessel that was designed to hold the life you have been calling for. Not in spite of your
Dear
history, but
money,
including it.
I
Not
am
despite your
sorry.
wounds, but because
Please
of the depth
forgive me.
and the wisdom
Thank
and the
you.
extraordinary
I love
capacity for
you.
beauty that those
Dear
wounds have built into
universe,
your character.
please
Every
forgive
hard thing you have
all my
ever
negative
survived
belief
has been a
about
course in the
me.
curriculum of your
Set
own
me
becoming,
free
and you are
from all
graduating
the
today.
limiting thoughts
Not because you have
that are
passed every
blocking my
test perfectly,
financial abundance.
because you have arrived at the
Thank
moment
you
of choosing.
for all the
And
opportunities
you have
coming
chosen.
my way.
Take that
I
with you.
love you.
Carry it in your body.
Dear
Let it
abundance,
change how you
I
walk
am
into
ready to
rooms, and
receive
how you sit at
wealth
tables,
and
and how you answer the
prosperity
phone,
with
and how you
joy
respond when
and
life
open
offers you the
heart.
next door.
I
Let
am
it change
sorry.
how you speak to
Please
yourself
forgive
in the
me.
private moments when no
Thank
one
you.
is watching.
I love you.
Let it change what you tolerate. Let it change what you reach for. Let it change what you
Dear
believe is
money,
possible for a person
I am
exactly like
sorry.
you.
Please
Because what is
forgive me.
possible for a person
Thank
exactly
you.
like you is
I love
everything.
you.
The law
Dear
guarantees it. The
universe,
universe confirms
please
it.
forgive
Your desire
all my
announces it.
negative
And
belief
today,
about
your
me.
declaration
Set
seals
me
it.
free from
I am
all
Florence
the
Scoville
limiting
Shin,
thoughts
and I
that
leave you
are
with
blocking
this.
my financial
Faith does not wait
abundance.
for proof. Faith
Thank you
is the proof,
for
and
all
you
the
have just chosen
opportunities
faith.
coming my
The
way.
kingdom is yours.
I love
It was
you.
always yours.
Dear
Walk into it now.
abundance, I am ready to receive wealth and prosperity with joy and open heart. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.